And what I realized is there was some about 3 school groups there, but then we had storytellers from South Africa, from Trinidad, Curacao, Jamaica, of course, Amina Blackwood Meeks, wonderful lady. From, I said South Africa, right? From Britain, from Scotland, all over the place, and from America. And each told us, I could have been there all day. And these stories were wonderful stories. I did not record them, and my brain is not as young as it used to be. I remembered some of them, in some parts. And the children enjoyed it and were able to tell some of the stories that they had heard. We were invited as seniors, 5 of us as seniors, to tell about life before independence. I'll tell you something too. Independence that year, and me celebrate 50 years. My first degree was 50 years old on May 1962. And so, I've been around a long time. I tell you, I was very young when I went to university. Okay, but what struck me was the fact that we don't have enough of these things. We don't have enough of people telling about our culture, enhancing a lot of them. We have a whole heap of stuff that we should be showcasing. And my sister says, you have a job. Write to the Minister of Culture and tell her what you think. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because we have such a rich culture. When I was little, my father used to tell us Anansi stories. Long ones and short, and duppy stories. And we just enjoy them. He'd also tell us stories about his life in the Middle East when he served in the war. 4.5 years in the Middle East. There was no Israel then. Palestine, Jordan and all that. Libya, all those places. And we just loved it. We loved stories, loved songs. But today, I'm going to give you a smattering of some of the songs that we love to sing. I'll tell you something. I went to St. Hilda's School in the 50s, and we weren't allowed to sing folk songs there. We sang these lovely English songs. And just as the sun was rising, I heard a maiden sing in the valley below. Oh, don't deceive me, oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden so? We sang all of that. Hey, ho, come to the fair, the sun is a-shining to welcome the day. Hey, very English we were. So the only chance I had to sing our folk songs was at home, and we loved to sing. And we had helpers who would sing, and we'd sing along. And my father and mother, we all would just sing. We'd sing Sankeys as well. You know Sankeys, the religious songs from the Ira D. Sankey book. And after lunch or supper, usually supper in the evening, because then Daddy was home, we'd all sing. Daddy had a lovely bass voice, bass baritone. My mother had an alto. She grew up in the Tabernacle Church. That's now Jamaica Evangelistic Mission. My father grew up in Church of God and Presbyterian, and ended up as an Anglican because he was Canon Swaby's driver for 7 years, and he took the opportunity for 7 years to get qualified as an electronic and electrician. All right, and the rest of us sang what we could sing. Right, but it doesn't matter if it wasn't in tune. But there were 6 of us, 4 children and my parents, and anybody else who came joined in, because then we had girls living there and so on. And the other thing that I think a lot of people have lost is that our house was open house. We had a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, but there are times when we housed 17 people. And some slept on the floor, some slept on the chairs, a few on the bed and so on. We used to fight to sleep on the floor, so which one could get the floor, eh? And that was fun. And we had all that sort of camaraderie. And I do remember one Christmas morning, we fed, those days bacon and eggs was cheap, all right? So we had bacon and eggs and orange juice and lots of bread, duck bread and all of that. You remember all that, some of you? All right? And we fed 23 people. My mother cooked, and people kept coming and coming. And I don't think she cooked any more than she had for us. And we weren't great eaters, but we fed 23 people with bacon and eggs and orange juice and bread that morning. That was our house. It still is our house. Some very strange people walk into my house, and I don't know who they are. Who you could come to see Shetty, that's my brother. I said, oh. Or they're my nephew, they call him Steamy. Steamy's friends. I said, oh, so I have all these like, young friends who come walking in, and I'm called Auntie. Right? By all and sundry. So when I say you're too ugly, I don't want anybody to know that I'm even related to you, because you're too ugly. Right. But we had these lovely songs. We still have them. They're preserved in books in the library, and that's where they reside. We don't hear very much of them, although the JCDC tries hard to pull these things out. The children in the schools, the adults, but there are adults who still do some of this. And I live near a community called Tracy, and they had a wonderful cultural group. Unfortunately, they had, people died off, and the younger ones weren't joining, and their leader migrated to the US. She's come now and tried to convert them into a gospel group. Nothing wrong with that, but they don't have the appeal. I don't think she should have eliminated the gospel. I think she had a religious experience in Ghana and came and figured that this was good. No problem, because we have plenty gospel in folk songs, You can hear one or two. Okay. All right, so I can stop talking now. And start with lullabies. We had some lovely lullabies. Two of them that I like very much. And first one is this. Blackbird Ipupakano, Blackbird Ipupakano, come go a mountain to drive them. Come go a mountain to drive them. Blackbird Ipupakano, Blackbird Ipupakano, Blackbird Ipupakano, come go a mountain for drive them. Come go a mountain for drive them. Blackbird Ipupakano. Don't baby, don't cry, your mama gonna fountain. Don't baby, don't cry, your mama gonna fountain. Sweetie water never dry, you get it down a fountain. Sweetie water never dry, you get it down a fountain. Don't baby, don't cry, your mama gonna fountain. Don't baby, don't cry, your mama gonna fountain. Sweetie water never dry, you get it down a fountain. Sweetie water never dry, you get it down a fountain. Thank you, my dear baby, don't you beg me that. Don't you beg me that. Then of course we have our work songs. I want to do one that is a house moving song. If you go to Westmoreland, even now, you see some of the nice, beautiful houses, board houses with lovely fretwork, on the verandas and all the rest of it. But they're set on a pile of stones, or and you can move house, because the practice was that people didn't own the land; they leased land where it was available. So you put your house there, but when you're ready, and the person was ready for his or her land, you had to move the house. So you move the whole house. A friend of mine said, he's a young Englishman, well, not so young anymore, he's probably my age now, but he was then young, and he told me he once saw a house being moved in a tipper truck, and the lady was sitting looking out the veranda, out the window, as the house was moved. But in times past, what people used to do was make these rollers out of, tree trunks, and they would put them under the house, and then there would be ropes tied to the house, and the people would pull the house along. It took a long time to move your house from one place to the next, right? And they would sing this song. Sally was a dundus malata, oh Sally, as they say, oh Sally, you pull the house. Sally was a dundus malata, oh Sally. Sally sleep a day, Sally work a night. Sally sleep a day, Sally work a night. Sally was a dundus malata, oh Sally. Sally was a dundus malata, oh Sally. Sally was a dundus malata, oh Sally. Sally sleep at day, Sally work at night. Sally sleep at day, Sally work at night. Sally was a Jundus Malata. Oh, Sally. So you can imagine who Sally was and what she did, eh? All right. Okay. And then of course there were work songs. Though you're going to have to work because we're going to do a very popular one, Chichi Bodo. Now in the work world, everybody helped everybody else. If I had a field that I wanted to prepare, then I would call the neighbors and they would come and help us, call it morning sport, and somebody would cook in a big kerosene pan, and dumpling and good dumpling, saltfish. That was the saltfish ever found. They never wash it or just saltfish, and all sorts of things. And then they cook the saltfish in a whole heap of oil, very oily, and so on. But it was the sweetest thing, and big dumplings. That the dumplings are cartwheels, huge dumplings made of pure flour, and when you bit into the dumpling, you can. That's how your teeth would go on the dumpling, right? I remember when Dad used to do the wiring along Fortlands in Discovery Bay, and he did most of those houses. And we used to go down and be at the beach, but when it was lunchtime we went, and imagine this huge cartwheel dumpling, and this oily stuff and all the rest of it. Mark, we had to rest before we went back into the beach because we had sun right to the bottom. All right, but in the working of getting the work done, one would sing. They all would sing. I remember when St. Hilda's was constructing what we call the new dining room, the dining room extension, we could hear the men singing as they dub. Now you have a front end loader and all of these bulldozer to do this. Not much fun, right? But Chichi Bud was a very, very popular song. And there was one man who didn't really do any digging. He was the one who directed the singing with the stick, and he did all sorts of antics and everything like that. And so he would sing, what you call the line, the lead line, and they would sing the bomber, right? Okay. All right, so the lead line, the bomber, is the one where the other men now would do their hoes or their pickaxe or whatever, and to get going, right? So, what you call it? They call it riff these days. Is some of them a holla, some a ball. And you're going to sing that because you are the workers. I am the leader. All right? So, and he say, Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Some a white wings. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Some a chocolate chick. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Some a red. Some of them a holla, some a ball. A Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Hawk. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Stock. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Pichieri. Some of them a holla, some a ball. How you sherry? Some of them a holla, some a ball. A Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Some a blackbird. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Some a cling cling. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Some a lapwing. Some of them a holla, some a ball. A Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball. Chichi Bodo. Some of them a holla, some a ball.
Quite a lively moment.